If we're going to open in a word of prayer, Stuart, would you?
I'd be happy to. I was standing there and Mr. Emery got me to do this, so here we go. If everyone will bow their heads. Lord, thank you for this wonderful day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to live in this wonderful country that gives us the opportunity to all gather here and hear each other. Please bless everyone here that's running for office and bless everyone who came. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And please join me in the pledges. Would y'all stand? First, the U.S. pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. I get to start us off. I'm Marianne Knowlton, and I want to welcome you all to being here for this candidate forum. I want to thank you, Chairman Emery, for putting this together. And I want to give a special thanks to Pastor Rob Lopez and the Community Christian Church of Poteet for graciously letting us use their facility. And thank you to our president, who's made it possible for churches to do this. So that's a wonderful thing for our country. I'm just going to take a moment of personal privilege before I introduce the chairman, that I never got to say goodbye. I was your chairman for 5 years, and I really had the privilege of serving Atascosa County and all the people in it. We grew the party, we made strides, and I'd just like to ask any of you who came in as precinct chairs under my watch, if you could please stand.
Present or past?
If you came as a precinct chair under my watch, just stand, yeah. So, thank you. So, you know, and there were more that aren't here tonight. Yes, thank you. So these are people that stepped up to do the heavy lifting. And the county chairman does the heavy lifting of the Republican Party of Texas.
Amen.
Yes, ma'am. And there are 254 counties in Texas. And it's a county chairman that run the primary, that work on party growth, and the precinct chairmen are that unit in the county. We have 24 voting boxes in Atascosa County. And I think when I came up, when I became chairman, we had maybe 4 precinct chairmen. And now I think under my leadership and under Chairman Emery and Caroline Georgia, who took over for a while, we've grown to now we have 13 or 14 precinct chairmen. So that's a wonderful thing. I just want to thank you all for stepping up. And I hope that we will continue to recruit precinct chairmen. It's very important. They're the backbone of the body, and a precinct chairman can have a vice chairman. So it's the unit of the party that helps identify voters, get out the vote, help the candidates. So I'm very happy with what we've done in Atascosa County, and I'm very delighted that since I left in September, this great strides that Chairman Emery has made in growing the party. And he'll share those with you on his accomplishments. I'm not going to take his thunder away, but he's done a great job. And so thank you for stepping up, Chairman Emery. It's not an easy job, and the pay isn't that great. It's nothing. So it's volunteer, but it's certainly very worthwhile.
I'd like everybody to give you an applause because you have done a great job.
Oh, thank you very much. So the chairman will be giving a state of the Atascosa County Republican Party address prior to the candidates speaking. And I have the opportunity and the privilege of introducing David Emery. David was elected to fill the position of county chairman in December. He comes with a wealth of leadership and organizational experience. He retired from the Air Force with both enlisted and officer experience. He has 9 years experience as an aircraft maintenance technician and a master instructor of aircraft maintenance. After being commissioned as a second lieutenant, he was an aircraft and munitions maintenance officer, headquarters liaison officer, headquarters staff officer, maintenance supervisor, squadron commander, and AF ROTC assistant professor of military studies. Following his military career, he went into ministry where he pastored local churches, was the director of a campus ministry, taught credit Bible classes, and was an evangelist and missionary in Germany. Before retiring again, David taught English for 8.5 years at the American University of Bulgaria. He is married to Boriana. They live in Lytle with their children, Stefan and Emma. So please join me in welcoming Chairman David Emery.
Thank you, Marion. Good evening, fellow Atascosa County patriots, and that's what you are. I'm glad you're here. Glad you could come out tonight to meet some of our candidates running in county races in the primary election. Before we hear from them, though, I'd like to address the state of the Republican Party in our county. Move this just a little bit. The Atascosa County Republican Party is strong. The Atascosa County Republican Party is united, and the Atascosa County Republican Party is growing. Our party is indeed strong, even though registered voters are almost evenly divided between Republican and Democrat. Republicans vote at almost twice the rate of Democrats in Atascosa County. In the November 2018 election, 4,562 people voted straight Republican, while only 2,587 voted straight Democrat. In Atascosa County, 7,753 people voted for Ted Cruz, while only 4,332 voted for Robert O'Rourke. Greg Abbott received 8,361 votes, as opposed to Democrat Lupe Valdez's 3,655 votes. Atascosa County follows the strength of the Republican Party in Texas. In the November 2018 gubernatorial election, every Republican on the ballot who was running against a Democrat in Texas won. Atascosa County is a bastion of conservative strength just south of the Democrat majority to our north. The Atascosa County Republican Party is strong. The Atascosa County Republican Party is united. We have strong Republican and conservative mayors throughout the county. 3 out of 4 of our county commissioners are Republican. Our county judge and sheriff are also strong conservative Republicans. I know they all work together to keep Atascosa County strong and united. This is something we want to keep. On a personal note, I'm glad we have such strong, united Republican leaders in our county. I'm new to politics and to being chairman of the party in the county, but I have leadership skills I've developed through my years of military service and ministry following retirement. A good leader is one who knows both his strengths and his weaknesses. I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, or to know when I need to ask for help. I know that if I need information, advice, or even just a good old smack upside the head, I can call on any of these strong leaders and mentors to give me just what I need. Our unity can also be seen in our party webpage. Tom Johnson, Tom's here tonight, right over there, our webmaster is doing a great job adding important information almost daily. Please visit the site often. It's at www.atascosagop.com. Yes, the Republican Party and the Republicans of Atascosa County are united. The Atascosa County Republican Party is growing. We are taking every opportunity to do things which help the party grow. I have 2 exciting announcements tonight which demonstrate this. To my knowledge, the Atascosa County Republican Party has not had a headquarters building for many years, if ever. I recently heard of a family who has a building in Jordanton that might be available to the party for a headquarters. I immediately contacted the couple to follow up, and I'm proud to announce that we are in the final stages of completing an affordable lease agreement on this property. It's located in a very visible location, just 1 block from the courthouse in Jordanton. We hope to have it open soon after the primary election. On another front, we already have a presence on the internet with the Atascosa County Republican Party webpage and with our Facebook page. As of 2 days ago, we have our own YouTube channel. Just a week ago, I put out an appeal on Facebook for someone to volunteer to live stream this event. Dario Garcia, who is recording our event tonight, that's Dario up there, contacted me and volunteered. After we discussed how we would stream the event, he suggested we do it through YouTube. He told me what information he needed, and he did the rest. Dario and his girlfriend, Shelby, and she's up there also, are new to the county, and they want to help the Republican Party. This is the spirit of volunteerism that we need to grow. Not only is this young couple willing to help the party, they are also indicative of a growing interest by young people in our party here. After the primary election, we will use our YouTube channel to get out important information and to help our county candidates who move on to the November general election by putting videos online. Dario and Shelby have both volunteered to help our general election candidates write, record, and post campaign videos on YouTube. For the candidates going ahead, that makes it very easy for you to record, tell everybody where to go look at it, and if they can't come to the event you're holding, they can go to YouTube and see you right there. So we're really, really happy about that. The party is growing, but we have to stay vigilant to keep growing. Many people are moving in to our county to escape the hustle and bustle and high prices of land and housing in Dare County. Sadly, many of them are bringing their liberal politics with them. Each of us has a duty to keep Atascosa County Republicans a majority. There are many ways to help. Mary mentioned this a moment ago. We have 24 voting precincts in our county. Not long ago, we barely had enough precinct chairs to form a quorum. Now, because of the hard work of Marion and Caroline George, where are you, Caroline? There's Caroline. Both former chairwomen of the party. We have 14 precinct chairs. Still, we have 10 precinct chair positions vacant. If you live in one of the precincts without a chairperson and want to get involved, give me a call. I'd like to talk to you. Being a volunteer, you can help the party and fellow Republicans. We have volunteers throughout the county who are ready to help whenever we call on them. Still, we need many more volunteers to keep the party growing. Everyone can give some time to volunteering. Many of our volunteers are retired, but you don't have to be retired to help. Even a few hours of block walking, handing out literature, making phone calls, or helping organize events such as this one tonight would help the party. Maybe you work in a specialized area and you have access to information that would be helpful to everyone in the county. I know there are Republicans who work in the water districts of our county. There are people who work in utilities or public services. There are many Republicans in the schools of our county. You can volunteer by just sharing important news and information. Give me or Tom Johnson or any of our precinct chairs a call with your information, and we'll see that it gets shared through our party social media. There are volunteer sign-up sheets right over here on the table if you'd like to get on the list of volunteers tonight before you leave. Now, I have a special request. You know, we're coming up on a primary election. We are in need of a couple more people to work on election day, either at a polling place or in the elections office in Jordanton. Training will be provided and no experience is necessary. This is not exactly a volunteer request, as you'll be paid to help out. Please come and talk to me personally at the end of this event if you'd like to help out by doing that. Maybe the best way each of us can help the Atascosa County Republican Party grow is to be bold. We should always be prepared to stand up and speak up for what we know to be good and honest and moral and constitutional. In his book of sermons, Strength to Love, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." We stand at a crossroads in the November general election. There are two very different ways our country can go. We can take the road to the left, which is socialism, and which leads to despair and destruction. Or we can take the road to the right, which is a free market republic, which leads to freedom and prosperity. Do you believe there is a threat of socialism taking foothold and growing in our country? Stand up and speak up. Do you believe that life begins at conception and every life is a gift from God? Stand up and speak up. Do you believe in the Second Amendment? Do you believe that personal possession of firearms is not just for hunting or personal protection, but to fight against tyranny in any form? Stand up and speak up. Do you believe in the need of strong, defensible borders to preserve national sovereignty and the safety of American citizens? Stand up and speak up. Are you proud to be an American and a Texan and a conservative Atascosa County Republican? Stand up and speak up. Along with our great president and millions of other strong conservative Republicans, we can truly keep America great. Thank you very much. Now we are going to meet our candidates. The candidates will speak in the order their names appear on the primary election ballot. Each candidate will have 5 minutes to address the audience. I would ask each candidate to introduce themselves and say which office they're running for before they give their presentation. There will be no open question and answer session. We ask all the candidates to stay after the event to visit with our audience, hand out their campaign literature, and answer any questions one-on-one. There will be 10 speakers, and they are, first, Marion Knowlton, who's a candidate for Texas House District 31. Candidates for Sheriff, David Soward and Tina Eggleston. Candidates for County Constable Precinct 1, Joe Pass and Mike Myers Jr. John Rothenbach is also a candidate in that precinct, but he called me today and said he has the flu, he's been out of work for a week, and he said, I really don't want to infect all of you people. So a big thank you to John for not coming tonight. But he will be watching the video, and we can all wish him well and hope that he gets over his illness soon. We'll hear from candidates for County Constable Precinct 4. That would be Bill Meadows, Rex Newman Jr., and David Douglas. And then candidates for County Chairman, Wayne Vaughn, and myself. Ms. Mullen.
Thank you, Chairman. It's good to be with fellow conservatives in Atascosa County. While many of you know me, some do not. For them, I'm here to share with you that I am the Republican candidate for State Representative for House District 31. My name is Marion Knowlton. This House district consists of 10 counties, including Atascosa, Brooks, Duval, Jim Hogg, Kennedy, LaSalle, Live Oak, McMullen, Starr, and Willacy. I've got that down, I can tell you that. I've been involved in Texas politics for over 10 years. I have been president, vice president of the Brush Country Republican Women. I've been chairman of the Atascosa County Republican Party. I was a presidential elector in 2016, and I currently sit on the State Republican Executive Committee, where I chair the party organization committee. I never had any intentions of running for political office. I was happy working on the local level and working with local candidates to get them elected. But after working on the Peter Flores campaign for so many years, and then availing myself of the opportunity to visit Austin and observe the political process, I became open to the reality that we needed a conservative voice representing our district. That observation, coupled with a request from some folks around the district that I run, led me to the prayerful decision that the time is now. I'm running for office so that people across our district can have a conservative voice in Austin. What does conservative mean? To me, it means applying godly principles to decisions we make in government. To me, it means less government intervention in our lives. It means that I believe you, the citizens, can make better decisions about how you spend your money, how you raise and educate your children. It means I believe you need to be free to be the best you can be, and it means that you should be safe in your community. So what role does the government play in our lives? Government can help by making our district more secure so businesses will want to invest here. It can help by making sure we have a workforce in place to fill jobs that are created by new investment. Education is the key to this. We need to provide technical skills to those to whom college is not the preferred path. We need to restore the teaching of conservative values and our history in our schools. We all know what's happening in Austin and what they're teaching there. We think that can't happen here, but it can. We need to guard against that. Many teachers I talk to are frustrated with the curriculum and the methods that they are required to utilize in their teaching. This needs to be addressed. I believe in the sanctity of life, religious freedom, that the right to bear arms is a right protected by our Constitution. I believe in legal immigration, that health care must be open to free market principles, and that property taxes must be addressed with a special look at providing permanent tax relief to our senior citizens. For example, even if you have paid off your home, you still pay rent to the government to live there, and your home can be taken if your taxes are not paid. Does this seem right to you? Our property tax system must be changed. When you elect me, I pledge to represent you. I'm not afraid to take a stand on the hard issues, and I will vote on all the issues. Our country and our state are being invaded by the progressive left. They want to apply different laws to us than to themselves. They want to end oil production, an industry that has made our country energy independent and has fueled the economy of Texas, providing jobs, particularly in many counties in our House district. Make no mistake, the green agenda is merely a vehicle to make us dependent once again on the government and to redistribute your hard-earned money to those the left designates as worthy. The left believes government can make better decisions about your lives than you can. So where do we go? The good news is that President Trump is fighting the national swamp. The consensus is that his coattails will be long, but we can take nothing for granted. The Trump campaign is building a database that is showing that many attending the Trump rallies are former Democrats and swing voters. Locally, we must continue to get our content out to our voters. I have ideology cards on the table that you can use as conversation starters with your undecided friends. The main question is, are you better off today than you were 3 years ago? Many in House District 31 are better off, but there are some in certain counties that are not. The Democrat Party of Bernie Sanders is not the Democrat Party of your grandma and grandpa. We need to let people know that the Democrat Party is organized. We as Republicans believing in individual tend to eschew group mentality and say, well, I don't want to get them together and rise to the polls, but that's what we're up against. We must mobilize our voters to counteract the community organizing that is trademark of the left. Voter fraud is a real threat. Please consider being a volunteer to work at the polls. Get behind your favorite candidate, write a check, block walk, make phone calls. Consider going to another county to help new county chairmen in their effort to grow their parties. Be prepared to find time to help in the coming days. The future of your children and grandchildren is at stake. Thank you for your time. I would appreciate your vote in November, and you can find me at www.marionfortexas.com. Thank you all.
Good evening. I'm Sheriff David Sauer. I'm running for re-election. I'd like to first start out tonight by thanking the Atascosa County Republican Party for organizing this event this evening. I'm very pleased to be here. A little bit about me. I was born and raised in Atascosa County. I've lived here my whole life. I graduated from Pleasanton High School in 1974. And in 1975, I graduated from a law enforcement academy in San Antonio. And at the age of 19, I could buy a gun, but I couldn't buy ammunition. So my dad bought my ammunition. And I started my career as a law enforcement officer with the Jordan Police Department. On January the 1st, 1977, I began working for the Atascosa County Sheriff's Office under Sheriff Tommy Williams as a dispatcher and a jailer. And I was also commissioned as a deputy. In 1986, I became the first criminal investigator for the Atascosa County Sheriff's Office. And shortly thereafter, I was promoted to chief investigator and chief deputy, and I held those two positions for 26 years. During this time, I was able to gain a vast amount of hands-on experience that I still use today. I hold a master peace officer's license and a master jailer's license, and I have over 1,700 hours of training. My experience in serving the citizens of this county comes from a span of 43 years working at the sheriff's office in every capacity, as a dispatcher, as a jailer, as a patrol deputy, as an investigator, as chief investigator, as chief deputy, and now as your sheriff. I have successfully managed a $10 million budget each year since being in office. And I believe in being a good steward of the county's money. I have always strived to do the best job I could do while I was a deputy sheriff and now that I'm a sheriff. I've stayed in this county all this time for one main reason. I was born here. This is where I went to school. This is where I grew up. I did not want to do this type of work anywhere else but in Atascosa County. This is a decision that I've never regretted. My platform has always been to make this county a safer place to live and raise our families. I have an open door policy, and I have always been accessible to the public as well as to my employees. In the past 7 years, we have made tremendous strides to improve our sheriff's office. We have put more deputies on the street and improved our visibility and response time to calls. We now have a jail that you all should be proud of, that should meet the county's needs for many years to come. One of the programs I've implemented in the past few years is Operation Safe School. Sheriff's deputies are patrolling campuses all across this county on a daily basis, and we have deputies at the school on the first few days of school each year, and present during drop-off and pickup at elementary. after the Sutherland Springs Baptist Church shooting, I began a program where we have deputies patrolling and present either at the beginning, ending, or during the services of rural churches across the county every Sunday. We want to be seen around these churches and do all we can to prevent anything like that from happening here. I've sent investigators for specialized training in fields such as family violence, crimes against children, narcotics, burglary, auto theft, homicide. Recently, I was appointed by Governor Greg Abbott to the Texas Violent Gangs Task Force. Now, I could talk for an hour about what we've accomplished, the crimes that we have solved, the drug bust, the large narcotics and cash seizures we've made, and our advancements in technology at the Sheriff's Office. But I want to take a minute or so I have left to assure you that I'm doing everything in my power to make sure that you are proud of our Sheriff's Office and that we will do our very best to protect you and your family from the criminal element. I also want you to know that I will stand up for our constitutional rights, especially the Second Amendment. This county is now a Second Amendment sanctuary, and I fully support that. I will stand up for our children, and I will stand up for our grandchildren's rights. It's not just about the present, it's about tomorrow. It's about our children's tomorrow and our grandchildren's tomorrow. My goal is to continue taking the Sheriff's Office forward, being progressive in crime fighting and crime prevention. I've thoroughly enjoyed serving the citizens of Atascosa County as Sheriff, and I'm asking you to trust me to lead the Sheriff's Office with honesty, integrity, and with a commitment to public service for 4 more years. I respectfully ask for your vote and support in the Republican primary on March 3rd. God bless everyone here tonight. God bless Texas. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for showing up here today. Wow. Okay. Sorry. I'm loud and this mic's even gonna make it worse. But my name's Tina Eggleston. I live in Jordanton, Texas. I'm not originally from here. I'm from where Trump is. I'm originally from upstate New York. I'm proud of that fact. I was raised in New York. Doesn't mean that I agree with New York standards. It's a state of Democrats, and of course I'm here. I'm a Republican, and I love being here. I'm running for Atascosa County Sheriff. I don't know if I've already said that. I'm not going to stand up here and give you promises or anything. I want to let you know what I'm going to do with Atascosa County if elected. Okay. I want to help with the mental issue that we have in this county. We have people that need help, and they have to go all the way to San Antonio. We don't need that. We don't want it. Okay, we want them to stay here in our county. And if elected, I'd like to get grants and stuff to have a facility to help these people out. I'm nervous right now. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's YouTube or what, but I'm a little nervous. Okay. Hard act to follow over here, too. I was a school resource officer for the city of Jordanton. I love that job every day. Before that, I worked for the Atascosa County Sheriff's Office as a deputy sheriff at the courthouse. In 2008, I started with Atascosa County, and I was a jailer. And I love doing that, because when you're a jailer, you get to meet a lot of people, inmates and employees. And you get to learn a lot of cool things. You get to learn about your community, where people are from, and everything. We had inmates in Pleasanton, all over. And you got to know the laws, which was awesome also. okay? From there, I was able to talk to Tommy Williams, and he let me become a deputy, which I love. But when I became a deputy, I got put in the courthouse, as most females do. Norman Jordan, last time I had this, Norman Jordan was an investigator for Atascosa County. She did a great job. She went from the sheriff's department over to the courthouse. She's now a sergeant over there in London. The last deputy that was on patrol was Marcy Mahoney back in '93. I'd like to change that with Atascosa. Females go through the same training as males in the academy. My guy was 6'4", about 300 and some odd pounds. I said if I could beat him, I could beat anybody. I think we need females on patrol just as well as males. We complement one another in what we do. I got told I was saying okay the last time I was doing this. I also want to deal with the drug issue in this county. We have it in OT. We have it in every part of this county. We have an issue with drugs. I don't feel that the little man should get away with anything. I think our deputies are doing a really fine job with it, but I think we can do better. And by doing that and cracking down harder on them and getting these drugs off the street, are we going to completely get rid of it? No, but we're going to do a great job doing it. I also want to open up another facility. Also, all this year is sitting here going, opening up this, opening up that. Okay, it's not going to cost the county anything. Grants are written for things like this. And grants are free money from the government to do things for the county. And that's what I want to do. I don't want it to cost taxpayers money. That's what I would really like to do also. Excuse me, I'm just so nervous. I don't like being up here. I had a thing that happened to me a few years ago, and it took me out of the limelight for, not the limelight, but out of law enforcement for a little while. But I was able to rise above it, and I got asked, why are you running for sheriff? Why I'm running for sheriff is because I think this is a fantastic county, okay? The people that live, there goes the okay thing. People that live here are amazing, absolutely amazing. I've been out talking to people, Black Hills, Somerset, Pleasanton, Hamilton, Christine. I love going out and talking to people, and I've been listening to their concerns and their issues. And I want to do I want to address those issues and do better. I want an open door policy. I want people to call me up at 4 o'clock in the morning and tell me, Miss Tina, this is happening. Can you come out here? Yes, I'm going to be out there. If not, we're going to get somebody out there. If elected, this is what I want to do. I got to breathe. I'm sorry. I got to get on the radio with JV with KSAQ 102.3. And I've had a lot of good feedback from that because people have come up to me and said, Miss Tina, I've listened, I've heard what you had to say. I'm trying to say the same thing here. I'm getting a little tongue-tied, and I apologize for that, okay? But I'm running for sheriff, but I can't get into office, and I can't do it by myself. I need the people of this county to help me to do this, to get elected, to help make a change, and to give change a chance in this county, okay? We have a really good DA, so we know changes have changed in this county. The previous one was all right, but we've gotten better. Okay. We have Marion, you got my vote. I don't know if one vote matters, but it does. We have great constables that are running, which I think are fantastic. Thank you, gentlemen, for doing everything you do every day. Carolyn, George, you've been awesome. Irene, great job. I'm gonna wrap this up. If anybody wants to talk to me after this, it'd be great. Be a little bit less nervous. But I do want to end with one thing. Seeing that we're in a church, we've been in a church both times. One thing that I've always lived by, and especially in law enforcement, is it's Matthew 10:16. I send you out in the midst of wolves, so be as wise as serpents and as gentle as doves. So, if elected, I will do that. I will be as gentle as doves, but I will be very wise. So please get out there, give change a chance. Please come and talk to me afterwards. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Joe Paez, and I'm a candidate for Constable Precinct 1. And I don't do a lot of public speaking, so I'm going to steal a little phrase from a dear friend of mine. I'm about as excited as a possum eating persimmons. It has been my pleasure and privilege to serve the citizens of Atascosa County for over 20 years. I retired in 2013, and I would like to serve the citizens again. And with your support, hopefully I can get elected. A little bit about myself. I'm a lifelong resident of the Verdi community. I graduated from Pleasanton High School in 1984, where I then went to San Antonio College. I worked as a medical equipment delivery driver as I was going to school. But my true passion was always want to be in law enforcement. I then started my career at the Atascosa County Sheriff's Department as a corrections officer under Tommy Williams. I was then promoted to the patrol division under Sheriff, at the time he was Chief Deputy Sauer. I was assigned the district of living in Verdi area. And then shortly after patrol duties, I went to the Georgian Police Department for a short time. I then returned back to the sheriff's office to work for as a reserve deputy, where I retired. I've always had my law enforcement career here in Atascosa County. As Sheriff Sauer said earlier, I don't regret not working anywhere else. This has been my home as well. I grew up in Atascosa County, and I would love to serve the citizens again of Atascosa County. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick. With your support and your vote, I would love to and be privileged to serve you again. So I thank you for this opportunity to speak. May everyone be safe getting home tonight. And I want to say thank you again. So may God bless Texas, and God bless America. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Robert Lopez and Patsy Lopez for allowing us to use this beautiful facility tonight. Thank you, David Emery, for organizing this event, David. I appreciate you doing that. I think we're all hoping that we'd have a full house, but hopefully we'll have some more opportunities for this and be able to fill the event centers. I want to thank my family for being here, my mother and my 3 sisters, and my friend from New Jersey, Clark Katz, who came here to help me with my campaign. You know, it's just a one precinct campaign, but it's tough and it's a lot of work. So how you do it, Marion, I don't know. It's just quite a bit of work, but I do appreciate you guys being here. So thank you for that. And of course, I want to thank you all for being here. We all have very busy schedules. And here you are listening to what we have to say, and that really is important. So you make a good, informed decision when you go out to vote. So thank you again. My name, like I said, is Mike Mattis, and I am your constable in Precinct 1. I applied for the position after the untimely death of Constable Percy Medina in October of 2019. I was interviewed and selected by the Commissioner's Court on December 11th, 2019. I've been a resident of Atascosa County and business owner for over 20 years, and I currently reside in the Verdi area in the northeast part of the county. I've been married for 15 years to my wife, Camila, who unfortunately isn't here tonight. She flew to Monterrey, Mexico for a wedding, so I couldn't go because I wanted to be here, and we're in the middle of this election, so she's on a plane flight right now as we speak. I joined the San Antonio Police Department in 1988 and retired after 30 years of service in January of 2019. My experience includes patrol, traffic enforcement, and you may not be able to tell, but I was one of the first bike officers in San Antonio. That's 25 years and 100 pounds ago. So I was promoted to detective investigator in 1997 and was assigned to the missing persons unit. I later transferred to the gang unit, gathering information on active gang members in and around San Antonio. We worked alongside other departments to include the FBI. A couple of years later, I transferred to our repeat offender program, also known as the ROPE unit, where we worked in an undercover capacity, working cases involving almost anything you can imagine, from homicides, bank robberies, human trafficking, and assisting other investigative units with surveillance. Later in my career, I transferred to the applicant processing unit, where I conducted background investigations on our new police applicants. In 2005, the department was in need of a polygraph examiner, so I applied to the Texas Department of Public Safety's polygraph school in Austin, Texas, and was accepted. After 12 weeks of living in a dorm in Austin, I returned to San Antonio and remained in that unit for 6 years and conducted more than 1,200 tests to include both criminal and criminal tests. I had the opportunity to mentor several new examiners during that time. As a polygraph examiner, I know that I made a difference in people's lives. Whether it was removing somebody from a bad situation, or getting confessions from murderers, or child sex predators, or whatever I could do to assist other investigators with their cases. In 2012, I returned to the applicant processing unit as a coordinator for the unit. It was my responsibility to oversee 15 other investigators working backgrounds and preparing all the files for presentation to the chief of police. I was instrumental in hiring hundreds of new police officers in San Antonio. This is where I remained until my retirement in 2019. Education was always important to me, but as a young man, I wasn't prepared to go right into college. I did a couple of years, and then when I was old enough to apply to the department, I went to the police department. But I knew that I was going to finish that, and that was important to me. That was one of my goals. In my career, my 30-plus year career, I've earned over 6,100 hours of law enforcement training, and I've earned a Master Peace Officer license. In 2002, I earned an associate's degree in criminal justice from Wayland Baptist University, and then went on to earn a bachelor's degree in public administration. Some of you may be asking, what does a constable do in Texas? Well, we serve as licensed peace officers. We have all the duties and rights of any police officer on the street. When I say we have those cases that follow us our entire careers. Some of those cases even bring tears to our eyes when we think about them. And I have several of those. Some of them kept me awake for many years. I'm not a politician, but as you know, this position requires that I ask for your vote. I've been a public servant my entire adult life, and I feel that I have something to offer my community. I'm back home now in Atascosa County. I've enjoyed serving you these last couple of months. I humbly ask for your vote, and I hope to keep serving as constable in Atascosa County Precinct 1. God bless you, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.
I've been precinct 4 constable for the last 7 years, and I'm up for re-election like everybody else is sitting here today. I've been in law enforcement for 47 years. I started out in the military in 1970 when I went in the Navy Army. I worked for CID Unit, Criminal Investigations Division, and I worked in narcotics. Once I was married in 1970 at the same time. I was kind of foolish. I was in college, graduated from high school in 1968. I had a low draft number, but I wasn't drafted because I had a college deferment. I didn't want it. I sent a nice letter to the government. They said, thank you very much. Get your butt over here. You're now drafted. So I spent the next 2 years in the Army. I married my wife in 1970. I married May 14th. I was drafted June the 1st. So I spent the next 2 years of my marriage in the Army. Been married 50 years. My wife Kathy, I have 2 children. My son and his wife are both teachers, so I know about the teaching problems. My daughter and her husband are both sergeants at Texas Highway Patrol, so I know about Highway Patrol problems. In my career, I worked up in Dallas for 5 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I specialized in anti-hijacking program over Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. I worked in narcotics also. I decided I wanted to get out of planes and went to trains. I worked for the Missouri Pacific, Union Pacific Railroad for 35 years as a lieutenant investigator. I covered the state of Texas from Waco to College Station to Brownsville to El Paso. I had 27 people working under me, and I don't know how many counties. None of those years I got trained very well. I went to the U.S. FBI training. I did street crime investigations, felony apprehension unit. I worked with DEA, narcotics units. I worked with U.S. Border Patrol and Immigration, anti-smuggling unit, narcotics and people smuggling. Human trafficking at that time was a big problem. It's still a big problem. We can't solve it here. I'm sorry about that. I have a college degree in criminal justice and history. I'm kind of like Mike talked about. I always wanted to finish my degree, so I went back and went to night school and worked and went to school at the same time. I got my degree in criminal justice. I do have a Master's Peace Officer certification. I have a firearm certification from the state of Texas. I teach classes at the Alamo Area Council of Governments. I've taught at San Antonio Police Department, San Antonio Academy. I've taught here locally in academies. I've been an instructor for numerous years. A couple of things I'd like to bring up to this point is that not only am I involved in being a constable, because Mike has already told you what we do. We do the paperwork for the JP's office. We do the civil work. We handle bailiff duties. We do traffic. One of my thoughts about traffic have been for years, and people say, why don't you write more tickets? I think the reason you give a ticket to somebody is to reinforce what the laws of the state of Texas tell them to do. If you're speeding, slow down. If you're going to run a stop sign, stop at it. Me collecting money does not make you a better driver. Me collecting money doesn't give the county money. Most of the money that's collected from a traffic citation goes back to the state. So people think it's a money-making opportunity to write hundreds of tickets and make lots of money. You might make money for somebody, but not for the county. If I give you a warning and you drive safe for the next 90 days, I've done my job. That's my feeling on traffic citation. We do give tickets, don't get me wrong. You do something really stupid, passing a double yellow, I'm gonna give you a ticket. Pass on a hill, I'm gonna give you a ticket. But I'm not gonna go out there and work traffic continuously just to write citations. Community involvement, I've been involved in this community for 40 years. I'm a newcomer. People say, are you born and raised here? No, I'm a newcomer. I've only been here 40 years. And people laugh about that. There's Meadows Road right down the road here. That's not me. That's not my family. There's nobody else in my family ever lived here. But I've been involved in the community. I worked in the community in Little Leagues. I've been a scout leader here since 1980. I've had 72 boys go through my troop as Eagle Scouts. We're having 5 more go through this year. I'm involved with the Lions Club. I was awarded the Jack Weiss Award for the Lions Club, which I had no idea what was, because I was just a lion. But it's for something for doing community work, working with the Lions Club and the Boys and Girls Camp up in Kerrville, Texas. I'm not a Mason. I was given 2 awards by the Masons for community involvement in Jordan and Pleasanton for my community involvement. So I try to work with the community as well as doing law enforcement, try to get things done that can help everybody out. If you have any issues with me, please bring them to my attention. I'm available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, because I'm surgically attached to this phone. Everybody out here is doing the same thing. Stand up there. Get attention. So if you need to get a hold of a constable, I get called all the time, day and night, for questions and answers. I'd be more than happy to serve you. We do standby sometimes. If you have a problem with your spouse and you gotta get your clothes and things back, we don't like doing it. We're not required to do it. And sometimes we won't do it. But we try to help out everybody as much as we can, whenever we can, answer your questions and help you out. I get calls from other law enforcement. I work closely with the Sheriff's Department. I work closely with Pleasant Police Department. I work closely with the Highway Patrol. Should something come up and they need assistance, we're there for them. I say we because I now have a deputy, which is brand new to me. He came on board in September. So the constable's office is a law enforcement like everybody else. We're trained like everybody else. We try to keep everything safe and happy. I appreciate your time. I think my time's about up. Please vote for me for precinct 4 for constable. Thank you for your time.
Make sure everybody can hear me this time. Apparently there's a problem with the mic last time. Anyway, still a problem. Okay. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight. And those of you watching Facebook Live, thank you all for tuning in also. And want to thank the members of the church that are here tonight to let us have this place to host this event. My name is Rex Newman, running for Constable Precinct 4, Atascosa County. I'm not from Pleasanton, but I've lived here most of my life. I've been here for 44 years. And married to my wonderful wife, Julia, and have 4 children. After high school, I joined the military, went off to the Army, served on active duty, and then later in the reserves also. But when I left active duty, I came back here to my hometown of Pleasanton, and been here ever since then. In 1999, I went to San Antonio College Law Enforcement Training Academy and obtained my Texas Peace Officer license. Since then, for the last 20 years, I've been working in law enforcement within Atascosa County the whole time. So I know a lot of the problem areas and where they're at. I now have a Master Peace Officer license and over 2,600 hours of training and education. If elected to office, my top reason for running for office is public safety. I want to increase public safety in Atascosa County. I have 3 ways that I want to do this. The first is to fight the growing drug problems. The drugs are getting horrible in this county. Other agencies in the county are working to fight this problem, but the more people you have out there fighting it, the better, the more it can get done. So my top priority is going after drug problems. It destroys many lives, children's and adults. There's also a lot of innocent victims from the drug users need money, so they commit robberies, burglaries, or thefts, and from innocent people to get the money to buy the drugs with. So it's not just them hurting themselves; it's other people also. I still have a 4-year-old. I'm sorry, not a 4-year-old, 4th grader in elementary school, and 6th grader just started junior high this year. So the high school and the junior highs, all of them in the county have drugs in them now, and it's getting worse. 2 minutes. So I really want to go after the drug. It's getting bad. The second thing I want to work on to improve the safety in the county is traffic enforcement. When I was out speaking to people, a lot of them complained about drivers out on the county roads driving excessively and dangerously. So traffic enforcement would definitely be my second priority. And it's the best thing about traffic enforcement is that it makes the streets safer for everyone, but there's also other things that come from it also. Traffic stops are probably the #1 way of finding drug users, and the drug arrests from methamphetamines and anything else, most of them come from traffic stops. So then you also have drunk drivers, you have people driving with no license, no insurance, people that have warrants for their arrest. They could be in a stolen vehicle or have stolen property. There's all kinds of things that can come from traffic stops. So, but yeah, it's not about just writing tickets. It's, you know, if it's a good law-abiding citizen and they're not doing anything too bad wrong, they're not habitual offenders, then you can give them a warning and let them go. But when it's not, then you can deal with that issue. The third thing is I want to make sure and maintain a highly visible patrol all through the county, precinct 4 at least. Myself, you would definitely see me out there on patrol for sure. And I think it helps a lot to prevent crime in the area. When they see a patrol car in the area, they'll usually go somewhere else because they don't want to take chances they don't need to take. So if I get elected as constable, I will definitely be a very active full-time constable, and you will see me out. I'll uphold the highest level of honesty and integrity for the office. And I have the experience, training, sound judgment, and dedication that will be required in the coming years for the constable's office, and the motivation to make it happen in this area. So I would appreciate your vote in the March 3rd primary, and thank you all very much.
Good evening, everyone. I'm David Douglas, running for Constable Precinct 4 on the Republican ticket. I kind of made my speech a few references towards Poteet since we are in Poteet tonight. I'd like to thank everyone for having me here to include Poteet and the citizens from the surrounding area. I was pretty much raised on a small ranch outside of Poteet off 2146, which many people know as the Amphion area. I spent every weekend, every summer, every holiday there with my grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins. I consider this the best part of my childhood, is being in Poteet or in the ranch just outside Poteet. I graduated from Pleasanton High School in '93, and that makes me 45. So, excuse me, I graduated from Pleasanton, not Poteet. Just kidding. Pleasanton's a really good school. I say that because that's where I met my wife, Marissa. Little history about me. While in high school, I started working on my emergency medical technician license and began volunteering with Poteet EMS because Pleasanton EMS said I was too young to volunteer as a medic. After high school, joined the Air Force, started working as a security police officer. After that, I worked full-time as a medic and and volunteered as a medic here in Atascosa while going to the San Antonio College Law Enforcement Academy on weekends. The academy was 1 year long. After that, as soon as I finished the academy, I began volunteering with the Pleasant Police Department as a reserve. And while I was working as a full-time medic, I was volunteering as a police officer and volunteering as a medic for the county also. I eventually went full-time with Pleasant PD, where I was promoted to their field training officer, where I trained the new officers that were recruited, and I was also a patrol sergeant. I was commissioned by Pleasant PD for about 11 years. I then created the Pleasant School District Police Department, where I was the chief of police for 4 years there. When the oil boom hit, I left law enforcement and started a business called Ranchscapes, where we sell and repair trailers and sell and install truck accessories. I've been doing that for about 9 years now. I've been missing law enforcement ever since I got out of it and started running a business. I'm looking forward to getting back into it. I miss being out in the community. I miss helping people as much as possible. If elected as a constable, you will be seeing a lot of me. In addition to the basic duties constables have of serving civil process and working with the justice of the peace, I plan on giving the taxpayers much more than the basic constable duties. I look forward to being very visible and attending and assisting with fundraising events related to helping the less fortunate of our community. So if you are not in my precinct, I'm sure you know someone who does live in my precinct, and I would ask you to please tell everyone you know to grab a Republican ballot on March 3rd and vote for David Douglas. I don't have it here in my speech, but speaking of running traffic as a constable, I think it's something that's very important. If you're a constable, you need to be out in your neighborhoods, you need to be out in your communities, at the very least patrolling your areas. And I'm sure most of y'all have been around and y'all know how people drive in our communities. You know how these, and I don't want to say anything bad about oil field, but you know how bad people are. So if you're doing your job and you're out patrolling these areas, how can you not pull people over? How can you not be issuing citations? Because these people are out there and they're going to kill one of us. So just wanted to touch on that real quick. Thank you all for your time and have a blessed rest of the week.
Good evening. My name is Wayne Bond. I am running for the office of Atascosa County Chairman, Republican County Chairman. And I'm here to ask tonight to ask for your vote and your support. First, I'd like to digress a little bit and thank all the law enforcement that are here for their dedication and their sacrifice to the jobs that they do. And then I'd also like to wish everybody happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Not to let anybody be without anything. If you stop by my table, I have flowers and candy jumpers for everybody. So if you want to go by and pick those up, it'd be great to help you guys out. I'd also like to take this time to recognize my wife, Christy. She's in the back there, and she is my wife for 46 years as of February 16th on Sunday. And so we have 4 children and 19 grandchildren, so we're very blessed to have a great family with us. My experience working with the Republican Party started more than 40 years ago, serving from the grassroots volunteer level up to being an elected official as Justice of the Peace of Medina County. I have volunteered in local, county, regional, and state campaigns. That is why I'm here to ask for your vote and your support. I encourage you to pick up a brochure from my table later on that has more detailed history of my time with the Republican Party. I am a 5th generation Texan, and I am a proud U.S. Air Force veteran. I honor all who are serving and who have served. Christy and I have raised 4 children in a Christ-centered home where God, family, country, and personal responsibility were taught. As parents of a wounded warrior, we understand the sacrifices made for our great country. That is why I stand for the flag as a proud patriot of this country. I have served in various capacities under 6 Republican county chairmen in Atascosa County. I grew up when Texas was a one-party state, the Democrat Party. Republicans didn't get the chance to meet in nice public buildings. They had to meet in private homes. There are people in this room tonight that can remember when there was no Republican primary, no Republican elected officials. And I want to ensure that we never return to that era of politics. And with your vote and your support, we can keep that process moving forward. As county chairman, I will work tirelessly to recruit and support candidates that will support the Constitution and ensure a strong future for our children and grandchildren. I'd like to encourage you to stop by the table in the back there to let Catherine know about the Young Republicans. If you're between the ages of 18 and 40, we are trying to get an Atascosa County Young Republicans organization going. And I'd like to encourage you to stop by there. And I want to build a strong legacy of proud service to conservative values. That is why I'm asking for your vote and your support. I want to close by quoting Ronald Reagan, one of my favorite quotes here. There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. I want to thank you and keep America great. Thank you very much.
Well, again, I'm David Emery. I am the chairman of the Atascosa County Republican Party. I'm accompanied tonight by my beautiful wife, Gloriana. She's the timekeeper tonight. And our daughter, Emma, right over here. We have a son, Stefan. He's at a track meet tonight, so he couldn't be with us. For full transparency, I want to tell you how I became the chairman of the party. I was drafted to run for the vacant position by members of the County Executive Committee because of my leadership and organizational skills. I have a reputation of being innovative and a man who gets things done. On December 19th, 2019, I was elected to be chairman by a unanimous vote of the CEC members at the meeting. The meeting had been properly announced and there was a quorum present to conduct the meeting and hold the election. I am the duly elected chairman of the Atascosa County Republican Party. I'm well qualified to be your chairman. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree in General Studies from Lubbock Christian University. I have a Master of Education degree with a specialization in counseling from Boston University. And I have a Master of Science degree in Bible and Ministry, also from Lubbock Christian University. Rather than tell you of all the experience I gained through my years as an Air Force officer, evangelist, missionary, and educator that has prepared me for this position, I'll tell you what I've accomplished in the less than 2 months I've been chairman. I've worked with the County Elections Office to help organize the 2020 primary election. I have met with county officials and leaders. I was invited to and attended a meeting with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. I had an article about early voting published in the Pleasanton Express. I've been interviewed by 2 radio programs to talk about current political events and the state of our party in the county. I'm known as the spokesman for the Republican Party here. I'm working closely with our webmaster, Tom Johnson, to expand the content of our party webpage so it becomes the go-to place for all things Republican in the county. I'm in the process of finalizing the agreement on our new party headquarters building in Jordanton. I worked with Dario to live stream this event tonight and to build a YouTube channel for the party's future use. And I made all the arrangements for this event tonight. Thank you. I love doing what I'm doing, to strengthen, unite, and grow our party in Atascosa County. I've accomplished a lot in a short time that I've held this office, and I have much more I want to do. My election in December was to fill the position until the March primary election. I'm running for re-election for a full two-year term to continue the work I've started. I ask for your vote, a vote of confidence in the primary election. Thank you. That concludes our event program for this evening. We thank you very much for coming. Please stick around, enjoy some refreshments, visit with the candidates, take their literature, ask them one-on-one questions if you like, and be safe on your way home. God bless you, and God bless America. The chairman recognizes Caroline Jordan.
We have hats for sale for a donation of $25. They're top hats, we have red ones and camouflage hats. So if you want a hat.
Hats for sale, Trump hats, various colors, a donation of $25. Who will they see, Caroline, if they want to buy those? See Caroline. All right, thank you very much. That's the end of the program.